I'm going to move on. Crisis management, useful. We've done a couple of them. We learn a lot about what has to happen in a crisis. We've only ever used the crisis management process, and even then it was a limited version of it once. But practicing it is an essential part, and learning from our mistakes as we go along. Offline is about not making those mistakes if and when we have to use them in a crisis. What it did teach us was that we definitely have to communicate much more explicitly and clearly with our staff group here in the building when an exercise happens. Whether it's an exercise or whether it's not an exercise, it's really important, given that the first contact on these things is usually in an open plan setting. If you hear stuff that sounds like a crisis, please hold on to it. Don't pick up the phone and say, hey, have you heard? Have you heard? Don't start the room mill. We realised partway through the morning that the mill was at work and we were in crisis. But please just hold on to the information. Those who need to deal with it hopefully will be dealing with it. Some people and rooms will be commandeered. That's inevitable, and we'll be as clear as possible with you when that happens and why that happens. And managing incoming and outgoing communication. It's really important that any of us understands which way information, who it needs to be tracked to, and that we're really consistent with what we send out, which is why I'm saying please don't say anything until there is an official statement in any of those situations, whether it's an exercise or not. Now, that's the kind of top-line learning, but actually, Ewan is going to talk us through the crisis management process so that we all have a clearer picture of what it's about and why, and what our position in the middle of that. So I hope that's reasonably clear. Lent 2012, I said I'd come back to this. I have to say it's got off to a flying start. I mean, it's definitely got off to a very strong start. I have to say a big thank you to everybody who took their life in their hands and stood up in a pulpit at some time over the last couple of weeks, or stood up in front of a school or a community, wherever, and made the pitch. It's the personal touch that actually makes the difference. And in this, I have to say a particular thank you, or a well done, to Ben Oldham in the direct marketing department. He spoke at a mass in South London, and he spoke to somebody, one of the parishioners, after the mass. And on the back of that conversation, that person contributed £10,000 to the Lent appeal. That's doubled with the matched income. That's 20k off a single conversation. And they don't all produce 20k. And we don't expect them to. We want them to, but we don't expect them to. But it's that dimension of the personal touch is unparalleled. So there you go. There's lots happening. I have to say, the first figure, when I got the notes for this yesterday, the figure was £811,000 so far. And then 804,000 I think it was actually last night. And I was told this morning it's 811. And I've just been told actually it's 823,000. 823,000 is again an unparalleled income. That has got no parish returns in that yet. So, Lent has got off to a massive start, and we just want to keep that momentum this year because it is it's going to be such a big thing for us in terms of what we're able to do with the funds that come in from this. Our supporters have been really busy. I think some of the examples are up there, but in Southwark we've got 50 supporters who are now sailing down the Harlow Water Tower. Oh, that's down the outside. But we've got a supporter from the Diocese of Portsmouth walking on pilgrimage from next door, from St George's, I think, down to Canterbury Cathedral. Our own staff, we've got a lot of walkers, I think. It's a lot. We've got colleagues walking 6k to work every day. We've got somebody walking the length of the Thames. We've got somebody walking the whole of the length of the North Wales coast. We've got staff living on 10 litres of water a day in Hallam. They've got shorter water in Hatton, surely. But doing a long distance walk, a long distance swim in Nottingham. And just as a small example, you raised £67 with the Pound Cake Day, the Shrove Tuesday Pound Cake Day. And of course that gets doubled up, that's 134 straight away with the match fund. So we just want to encourage everybody to keep on with that spirit of the fundraising. It's really enjoyable as well as important. And on that note of enjoyable, I also just wanted to mention that don't forget the St Patrick's Day Irish Coffee fundraiser on the 16th of March in the Pavilion. I've done it before, it's great. And there are non-alcoholic ones as well as alcohol ones, so it's kind of Lent safe for everybody. So, yeah, moving on.